Hello and welcome back to the turbo install. It is now part 2, day 2. Picking up where we left off. We got the manifold out, the splash pan out, intake out, and we cut the slot in the frame rail. Now we are going to try to get the bracket off the bell housing of the transmission that held the OEM downpipe. We have a breaker bar today.
So we heard some clunking on the front of the car.
We're getting passed by the sheriff.
Oh yeah! So hopefully that helps us out within the leverage department. Oh yeah. Instant breakification. Not that one though. Rip. Can you get the, can I get a 4-inch extension? Alright, we are drilling a pilot hole. We got some grease on here with some electrical tape to stop me from going in too far. I hope that I can get it started. That ain't bad. I'm just gonna clean it off quick. Get a little more grease on there. We are through. Just the dip in there. Alright. Alright, so when you're tapping it, you also want to use grease. You'll go in a few turns and then back it out, clean it off, go in a few more turns, back it out, clean it off. You basically want the tap to go in a 1/4 inch less than how much threading is on your fitting. So we drilled and tapped the oil sump. Just be careful when you're tapping it to make sure you don't go too far. I probably went a little too far because there's a little bit of play, but we're gonna put the right stuff, silicone sealant on there. You basically apply to the threads, torque it down into the sump, and it should be ready to roll. Alright, so now we are going to flush out that barb fitting with some mineral spirits in order to get any potential shavings out of the sump. Is it coming out down there?
No. Yes.
How much did it say to do?
It didn't say how much to do.
That's probably enough, right?
I don't know. I feel like it's not going to hurt to do more.
You see any shavings coming out with it?
I'm not going to get too close because it's fucking flying everywhere.
Hmm.
And you have safety.
Alright, so we broke out of our comfort zone and talked to a neighbor to ask for a 15/16 deep socket, which you're going to need for the oil pressure sender on a 96 Miata when you're tapping into an oil feed for the turbo, which is between cylinder 2 and 3 on the intake side. Oh, he's even got the nice. There she be. That is our oil pressure sender, and we're going to put our T there. For the 96, we have to tee in where the oil pressure sender goes, which is what we showed you earlier between cylinders 2 and 3 on the intake side. No. We're gonna use a little bit of Teflon sealant on the threads. You don't want to do the beginning threads because that risks getting the Teflon into the passages. So we're gonna put them back a ways. And actually, I wonder if this is exactly what I should do: is thread it on a little bit and then put the Teflon on, so there's no way of me getting it on the inside passages. This is learning the smart way for once. I think that's enough, or as long as we're not getting it too close to the entryway. Oh, that like ended sooner than I expected. I'm surprised that doesn't like flush up, but now we're going to put our hand fitting on this side. This stuff sets up a little quicker. Alright, now we're going to try to thread that into the block and hope that this points towards the back of the block so we can get our oil feed line on there. Oh, that ain't it. So it is. We got the AN fitting and T thing onto the block with the pressure sender, and now Dan had tightened it with that. He tightened it using the 5/16 that fits onto the end of the oil pressure sender, and that kind of spun the T, the extra fitting, and the pressure sender on the end around, and then we tightened it until it got snug, and then backed it off so that the T was pointing towards the back, towards the firewall. And then now we're trying to tighten the oil feed line onto that barb, and it is real troublesome. But I have faith in Dan.
That's unfortunate for you.
So this is our eBay intercooler, E3 USA. And we want to clean it out with some mineral spirits. So we're gonna dump some of this in here, shake it around, and hopefully not really spill too much of it on ourselves.
I hear they make funnels.
Just to clean out any sort of residue that's in there. Put the caps that came with it back on. If you don't have caps, you could rubber band some like Ziploc bags on it here.
Gloves. Nitrile gloves. Wow, with this low light sensor.
I want to sneak all these nuts on before you tighten everything down. I haven't done anything in regards to double nutting these. They're kind of weird. I also don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just hoping that when we snug it up, it'll kind of self-lock itself. So I'm gonna get a 12mm wrench.
Is that not a ratcheting one?
Yeah, but I don't think it'll fit.
Oh, well, that's just too gosh darn bad.
So I was just reading on MiataTurbo.net, and this doesn't line up, but I also was reading that people don't use gaskets. Gaskets are a failure point. You just need to make sure that your surfaces are flat. I'm using a gasket here because it's a used turbo, and I don't know if this is going to create an exhaust leak here, but since this doesn't mate up, we're just going to run it without a gasket and hope that it seals pretty well. Ideally, you put the mating surfaces on the right location. It looks pretty good. I mean, there's 5 bolts holding it together. So one thing to note is that there's 4 studs and 1 long bolt where this shoulder is. So we're gonna get these studs in here. There are leftover studs from this used turbo that we'll just leave there, and then we'll have the turbo basically assembled. So one thing to note with the crack and outlet, you want to make sure you have enough room to slip this nut on there. So don't get all the nuts on until you got all the nuts on, if you know what I'm saying. So we want to cover up this raw metal, and we have nothing other than classic red Mazda nail polish. This is just so that we don't have exposed metal that could eventually start to oxidize and rust. Just, you know, practicing.
You must do a shit job with your toes.